So how safe is your information on the UID.me system? Stay tuned and let's talk about that on this video. Hello, this is Lee Cunningham from UID.me, the UK's only combined emergency ID and alert service. Now on this channel we cover lots of news and information about UID.me and the odd product review as well, so if you're new here I would definitely consider subscribing and even clicking the notification bell if you're using YouTube as well, so that you're alerted for any new videos. At any point during the video, also check out the show notes and the links in the description below, because that's where we'll link out to any references made in the video, and we'll also include a couple of bonuses in there as well. So let's get on with the video. So I want to talk about information safety on UID.me, because we do from time to time get a question on this, and I thought we'd do a video just to cover it. So there's a few points that I want to cover. The first is that we are a fully paid up member of the Information Commissioner's Office. So that means every year, because we handle customer information and data, that we're obliged by law to to pay up our annual license fee from the ICO, which is on the front homepage of UID.me. You'll see there's a little kind of tag, a little icon rather, to show that we pay that on a yearly basis. And because of that we have rules and regulations that we have to abide to as well. But this is not so much about that, but it's about the safety of information of our subscribers. What can be seen, what can't be seen, why is that so, and how sometimes is information seen. Because I think you'll hopefully agree with me that because this is an emergency medical ID product or set of products that we're talking about, that in an emergency we want that information to be seen. That's the whole point of it, the very point of it. So we're going to talk about that as well, but it's not a long video. You'll see that from the timeline. We're going to keep it very short. First of all, when you activate your product or when you update your product, you'll see that there's 4 sections of the short form that you fill in when you're registering or updating. None of the information in section 1 is visible to anybody when they access your emergency medical information. That's information about the owner, so it's just basic information such as obviously name and email address, contact number. And the reason that section is there is well, basically because we have child ID products as well. So if the information relating to the wearer if that wearer is a minor, then it may be that a parent or a guardian is registering that information. We wouldn't want to be making phone calls or emailing somebody that's under 16, so that information there is about the parents. But none of that information is available when a paramedic or a first responder accesses your information anyway. It's the information in section 2 which is separated out, and that's information such as your name, your emergency contacts, your emergency contact numbers, medical conditions, medications, NHS number, blood group, allergy information, that kind of thing. That's the information that's available to somebody when they access your ID profile, and we'll talk about how they access your profile in a second. We've had it, I think more so in the kind of early days, we had a few people saying, oh, is there a password with the system? Well, there is a password, but that's only for you to log in and update your information at any time. You can do that, but the password's certainly not needed for a first responder, for example, for someone from a medical team, because in an emergency, why would you want to have to issue someone with a password to access your information? The whole idea is to make it as accessible as possible from any device, so that no passwords are needed. You don't want people to be fumbling around trying to find a password in the event of an emergency. Of course, they want that information as quickly as possible. So there's this balance of accessibility and protection for the information. And most products I'm thinking about wristbands anyway, and the bracelets that we do. The information is on the inside of the band anyway. But also there's things like QR codes which can be scanned and read with a mobile phone. But the QR it's a very visible thing. It's like a barcode on the back of a tin of beans. It needs to be scanned. It can't be, you can't cover it and then scan it. So that would need to be scanned or visible to a camera of a mobile phone generally for the information to be accessible via the QR code. Now NFC is a slightly different matter. NFC is a small electronic tag, typically unpowered, similar to what you might find in the front of a library book when you go to the library, which activates an alarm system as you leave. It's that kind of very, very sort of paper thin circuitry that you sometimes see. And some of our products have an NFC tag in the product. You would know because it says NFC, scan here, or read NFC here. Now they're slightly different because NFC stands for near field communication. So if you have a phone and you scan an NFC product, it does need to be within, typically it's 1 or 2 centimeters in order to read the content of the tag. So to be fair, even if you've got a wristband on, it's fairly safe, because someone with a mobile phone would need to be very, very close. But again, let's get back to it, that the information that could be accessed by a QR code or an NFC tag or your 12-digit UID-me number is information that you would want to share anyway. So that's not so much as a problem. So we've covered what's visible, we've covered the 3 different ways that people can access, that's a visible ID code, the NFC tag and the QR code. Covered the difference between the balance between accessibility and and protection, if you like. So the reason why you have a password, the password that you get with your product is to activate your profile. I hope that you can kind of differentiate between that. So you activate your profile and you use that same code, that password, to update your profile as well. So if, say for example, you go to the CE specialist and they put you on a new medication, or you develop a new medical condition, then you can just simply log in using that password to make changes to your profile. Nobody can change or access your profile without that password. So I hope that makes sense. So, how safe is my information? It's as safe as it needs to be, but in order to stay accessible in the event of an emergency. So if you've got any questions at all around that, drop us a question in the comment section below the video. We're always happy to hear from you. It's an honour to hear from our customers, and also we do respond to everybody. So thank you very, very much for watching. It's Lee Cunningham from UID-me, the UK's only combination emergency ID and alert service.